Some of the things that have been going on lately, the racist graffiti in downtown New Bedford, the incident at Fenway Park, Adam Jones, Stephen Colbert and his comments dealing with the president. And I hate to give credit to Barry, but I have to give credit where credit is due. There's a lack of civility that seems to be going on. Now, is it illegal to say the N-word? No. Is it illegal to spray paint graffiti? Yes, depending on where you spray paint it. Not necessarily what it is, but where you do it. And, of course, is it illegal for Stephen Colbert to come out and rant the way that he did dealing with the president the other night? No. But is it proper? Is it necessary? And so I called my colleagues in today because we've all had bits and pieces of conversation about this, but I don't think that we've actually sat down together and started beating each other up with a bat over it. So, Phil, you are on the air already, so Barry, why don't you kick it off?
I think it's an amazing time right now where it seems, I don't know, you can blame talk radio, you can blame social media, you can blame cable news, you can blame whoever you want to blame, but we've entered into this this era of total disdain for each other, and we seem to have lost all respect, all decorum. The art of conversation is dead, and we shriek at each other.
I blame talk radio for that, partly.
Okay.
We're all guilty of it. We are all guilty of it. Are you guilty of it?
No, I'm a good guy.
We're all guilty of it.
Why are we guilty, Phil?
Because we use words in such ways that they become weapons. You know, the difference between animals and human beings is we have words in our language, all right? Words are important. Words are the only thing we have to convey messages, and those words can either, as I said, become a dagger or they can become an olive branch. Words matter so much that now they have divided this country unlike any other kind of divide I've ever seen.
Back in the day, it used to be great to have a disagreement. We'd sit around and we'd disagree all day long, and then we go out to dinner at night together. You know, my wife and your wife or whatever, have a drink, and we're friends the next day. We pick up the discussion. So we've gone from that to this idea that we can't disagree anymore. We have to totally destroy the other guy. The other guy is either a racist, or you're Hitler, or you're a Nazi, or you're the N-word, or you're whatever. And there's a genuine hatred there. And you blame
I think
that on
the
talk
hatred
radio?
has always been there. And no, I don't blame it on talk radio.
Well, look,
because
Reagan
I was brought up, sticks and stones can break my bones, but names will never hurt me. And I do believe it that way. But now bullying is big. We used to bully all the time.
We've got to a point where Congress cannot pass simple legislation anymore because you're either on this side or you're on that side, and there's no middle ground, and you do not dare to cross over and agree with the other side.
But why?
Well, I don't know, and that was my
well, I can answer that question.
Reagan and Tip O'Neill would fight all day long.
I can answer that. I don't know answer. It's because we, as talk show hosts, when somebody calls in and infuriates us with their opinion, we don't listen to what maybe they have to say because we don't want to hear the things that may persuade us to think of things differently. We are the velvet hammer.
But talk radio is responsible for that. There's a lot of people out there that don't listen to
talk
radio.
Talk radio is partly responsible for that. Yes, partly. You're not going to put all the blame on talk radio, but the way we conduct ourselves on the air is very important, and that's why I
can agree with that. But as Barry brought up, and I agree, not everybody listens to talk radio. There used to be a time, as he said, we could sit down and you could talk. You could be mad at the other person, but you weren't pulling out a gun and shooting him.
This goes beyond politics and political discussion. It's just discourse in general in this country. You hear young people calling each other the N-word out on the streets all the time, or you see the videos popping up on social media all the time of young girls beating the crap out of each other in Walmart. Where does this come from all of a sudden? We don't disagree anymore. We can't even argue anymore. It has to be a fight to the finish, whether it be in words or whether it be in actions, and we have to destroy
you said it
each
yourself.
other.
You said it in a joking
but is that
way.
Talk radio.
You said, hold on. You said, well, I'm a nice guy, meaning I'm not wrong. You're wrong, I'm not wrong. You're wrong. You know, the old transactional analysis that you're not okay, I'm okay. This is all part of the psychosis of what has happened to the American culture. We no longer are that melting pot, and it's a shame. And you know, you refer to talk radio. Oh, it's television. It's in the newspapers. I mean, look at everything that we have that communicates to us nowadays. And words are communicating.
And it's profit-driven. If you look, the newspapers and the media are making profits by dividing people. Okay. And you look
but
at
so is the station. Colbert. We're number one, Nielsen rated. Why?
Look at what Stephen Colbert did the other night, right, to Trump. Now, it's one thing. We grew up listening to Bob Hope and Johnny Carson and others make fun of politicians and have jokes and everything. It was okay to a certain point, what Colbert did the other night. Then he crossed that line, and he got very vulgar and very vile and very disrespectful.
Right.
Why? Was it because he's trying to boost his sagging ratings on his television program?
No, I think it has to do
with it for 2 days out.
I think it borders on hatred.
Okay, so hatred is a motivator. So somebody like Stephen Colbert, who is, by the way, his ratings have fallen, seizes the opportunity and says, hey, I can take this hatred and I can make a couple of bucks on it.
No, I think it was a personal view that he really believed in, and he wanted to take it to sewage level. And that's his right.
And his network let him do that because...
Okay,
No, his network let him do it because of the fact that it's recorded live and then played back 2 or 3 hours later. So the network let him do it and get away with it.
So we can either, boycott the sponsors of that show. We can send them letters. We have ways of, I'm not going to watch him again because of what he did, how he did that. Yeah, I'm not watching Colbert. And the guy is brilliant. You can't say he's not a great comedian. I mean, I thought all these years this is one of the smartest, really most talented comedians that we have who can take social satire and spin it in such a way that, wow, this guy has, he's got it together.
Well, he didn't sound like it the other night.
He lost my respect, too.
But it begs the question, so he loses Phil. Yep. Does he gain
I think his numbers picked up enormously. After the incident was reported yesterday, every cable show talked about it all day yesterday. The press talked about it. We're talking about it 2 days later, and people are going to tune in to see what this guy has to say. There's no question. But, there's a larger picture going on here, too. Look at what's happening in our country. So you got the Stephen Colbert's going on TV being as vulgar and as vile as he possibly can be and talking about the President of the United States, whether you like the guy or not. And yet, Ann Coulter's not allowed to speak. Milo's not allowed to speak. They're shut down by the fascists on the left that don't want to hear anything that disagrees with the anger and the rage. They burn. They throw things through college windows. They beat police. They beat supporters going to political rallies these days. What the hell is going on in this country?
A double standard.
Well, there's always been a double standard.
And
going
if you
all the
want
way back
to be
slavery days,
a conservative in America today, you better get used to a double standard.
Well, if you want to be on top, conservatives have been trying to get to the top. Now that they're on top.
We have never been afraid in this country to exercise our First Amendment right to free speech. You've always been able to go out there, as unpopular as it might be, to say, I'm for this, I'm for that, I'm for this guy, and not have to worry that somebody's going to, beat you over the head with something because you're wearing a Make America Great hat, or you want to speak against feminism at University of California, Berkeley.
Right.
Today it's a very different day. If you want to go out there and say, I'm against illegal immigration, you have to worry that your house is going to be burned down.
Yeah.
Or if you want to wear a Donald Trump T-shirt, for example, or if you want to go to UC Berkeley and speak out, for whatever, and the masses disagree, they're going to burn the building. They're going to throw things through the windows. So,
by the same token,
this is
Barry,
part of all of this civil discord that we have in this country right now.
There are idiots, there are imbeciles, there are people who are so ignorant that they would take a bag of peanuts and throw it at a guy.
Sure, that's all part of it. That's all part of it. And sit there and call the guy the N-word.
All right. So he may not represent the vast majority who stood up in a standing ovation to stand up against racism, against this, but we still have them in society, and we'll never get rid of them. We'll never get rid of that.
I'm not sure that we're supposed to try to get rid of them.
But we can speak out with
that's
words.
Right. We can speak out with words, and we have done so for many, many years.
Don't you think...
Hold on a second, please. what I'm going to do, because I'm going to take a break, I want to give you each a chance to say a final word here. Take my break, and then I'll have the rest of my show. Phil, you were talking. Go ahead.
Don't you think that it's about time we, as a people, started to want to really understand what makes somebody who disagrees with us tick, rather than have them infuriate us? I hear it on the radio, the raising of the voices, we tune them out, we shut them off. You know, we are as intolerant as we speak of those who are intolerant too.
Maybe so, but...
So my final remark is this. If we don't start using words in a way that are meaningful, then we are going to go down to the level of animals.
Maybe so, but it sounds kumbaya-ish when you say it like that, Barry.
I think to a large extent what we do is a reflection of what's being thrown at us. I mean, we're reflecting back what society is like, and we're playing off of that. And certainly there's an amount of profit that's involved in it, and show business, what we do here on the radio. But I think the bottom line is that society has... we're living in a day and age with social media. You can go on Facebook and say anything as rotten and mean about somebody as you want to, and you never have to face that person. You never have that, eye-to-eye contact. So it's very easy to just say what you want to say. And I don't know. I think that's just a part of what's contributing to this big problem. I think people have lost their cool, and I'm not sure how you get that back. How do you get that back?
You start respecting people.
How do you put this genie back in the
you
bottle?
Start respecting people. Well, it's easy. You start respecting people.
We're not going
you don't
to
say to somebody who expresses his opinion, well, that's kumbaya.